Welcome to your winter solstice reading, and this is going to be for the season starting on December 21st, 21. So you have this 12, 21, 21 numbers going on here. You got the 12 and the 21, which is very much a mirrored effect. Plus 1 plus 2 is 3, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So you got a 3, and a 3. So 3 threes. Huge amount of creativity that's going to be coming around this winter solstice. So I'm excited to see what Spirit has to tell us about those 3 months. Also, of course, winter solstice is the beginning of Capricorn season. I will have a different video for Capricorn for that season coming up, so keep an eye out for that as well. But this reading is going to be a pick-a-bear reading, and so you're going to have a choice of 3 different bears, and you can choose as many as you want. You're going to have the brown bear, the black bear, and the polar bear. And I'll have timestamps for each one of those in the description box below if you want to jump ahead to the other bear. We're going to start, of course, with the brown bear. And we're going to be asking the question, what's going into hibernation? So we're going to just ask what is falling away, what is kind of shrinking in our life, at least for this 3-month period. And with that shrinking, with all this creativity going on, what is going to take its place as it shrinks? Because there's always a certain amount of energy in our lives, and as one changes, it makes room for something else. So I'm excited to jump right in, and like I said, we're going to start with Mr. Brown Bear first, and if you chose one of the other bears, just click on the timestamp below and you'll jump ahead. So let's get started. All right, on my Capricorns, if you chose reading number 1, which is the brown bear, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from these Surrender Oracle. And this is just going to represent what the Creator wants you to know overall for the 3-month period of the winter solstice. So what is going into hibernation? All right, so for our brown bear cappies, what would you like them to know about what's going into hibernation? Okay, I feel like this one is really calling out to you. And you've got the surrender your obsessive thinking. See the beautiful apple there, and try not to get the glare in there. And it says, if you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to Spirit. Doing so will help bring clarity or even solve the problem. So your obsessive thinking, your attachment to the outcome, the attachment to the story that you're putting in the situation or to the person, that is falling away. And we'll find out how that happens and more information on it, of course. We're going to pull some more cards here. First, we're going to pull from this animal spirit guide, this deck, and just see what spirit animal has a message for you, what Spirit wants you to know, what the Creator wants you to know. All right, so what else for our brown bears? Okay, wow, okay. My goodness, so you've got 2 horned creatures there, and you've got 2 felines, so that is pretty interesting. Open right to the tiger, so we'll do the tiger first. So this is about lunar force, ease in darkness, and feminine energy. So the tiger hunts at night, at one with the silence, fearing nothing. So this card reminds us to take the wild darkness, take in the wild darkness, to allow the lunar forces to soothe and heal our spirits. Sensuality, receptivity, and devotion are all heightened in the midnight hour, and the tiger may take advantage of these boons. Spend some time in silence this evening, drinking in the potent calm. There's nothing to fear in the stillness except the awakening of your own power. So, yeah, definitely, this is about stepping away from situations and, getting alone, getting silent during this winter solstice period, this 3-month period. You will have some time of being alone. And don't fear that, because it's during this time that you're going to awaken your power. All this energy that you're investing into this it's like you're obsessed with a situation that you feel like you cannot let go, but during this 3-month period, you do learn to let go of it and you regain so much of your power back. Let's see here. The Panthers should be in the same section, so let's look at them next. Sorry, these are not in alphabetical order. Yeah, annihilation of the unnecessary and purging. So this is good. The panther won't stand to see our growth or our energy stagnate. Instead, it pounces into our lives and causes all kinds of havoc with the ultimate intention of bringing us towards more fulfilling lives. It's unexpected, can be uncomfortable, and sometimes it can feel devastating. But after all the dust clears, it's easy to see the panther's wisdom at work. We've all been through these experiences, and they've made us better people. So trust that the panther's journey always leads to a brighter place. So I love the combination of these two together, and we're going to move these over here. And because this is all about, that it is happening for you, it is for your empowerment. And though you might have like this tower moment in your life, where a tower moment is where something is removed out of your life for you. In the beginning, you feel like something's happening to you, but really it's like, seeing this apple is kind of like it's Snow White, right? In the Seven Dwarves, where that the Wicked Witch brings this, apple that's poisoned that puts them to sleep. And it's like this poison, this toxic situation has put you to sleep, but you're ready to find that empowerment. You're ready to wake up, and you don't need no prince or princess kissing you to wake you up, because you find the true love inside you, right? The true love is what breaks the curse in those stories, but you're going to find the true love within yourself. I feel like we're going to go to the elk next here, so let's just get that one real quick here. Oh, wrong section. There we go. Saw it. Let me just find it again here. There it goes. Yeah, so stable, resilient, headstrong, and also represents like the father. So the great elk represents the earth element, but in its masculine form. This means it provides underlying support and stability among life's many changes. An elk personality, whether male or female, is fully established in themselves and knows their core values. They become known and respected for acting in ways that uphold those values. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most part, they make damn good fathers, mothers, lovers, and friends. The world needs more elk energy. Because when you're in balance with this energy, you're supportive, you're kind, you're consistent. But when you're out of balance with that, then you're pretentious, high and mighty. I love that this energy is coming in, because this is bringing this stability to this situation that's coming in here. And then lastly, we have the unicorn, and that's in this special section in the back here. I love that you got the unicorn. If I can find it here. There it is. Yeah, reconnecting to higher wisdom or divinity, like that. This is where you find that inner love, that true love that breaks the curse. So it's difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it's real. Did they ever exist? Perhaps long, long ago? The mind answers maybe, or it could be, or no way. This very contemplation explains our relationship with divinity and encapsulates our wavering belief in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder where our intuition comes from and if we can really trust it. We think about a higher power and our mind hesitates between yes, no, and maybe. Is it male or female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up. That's hilarious. It wakes us up, just like I was talking about the story of Snow White, right? The poisoned apple is what put her to sleep, and this amazing energy is what's waking you up to curiosity about the higher self and the divine. It's a card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable. The mind's eye knows there's something beyond our day-to-day lives, a deeper dimension to our experiences. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You are the unicorn, and you've begun your quest for the answers. And the unicorn deals with the sixth chakra. And it's no surprise. It says that the subtle essence of the unicorn card resides in the third eye, where this horn is, right? Because that's the exact place from which the unicorn's horn extends. This center is called the Ajna, A-J-N-A chakra, or command center. The ancient yogis believed it to be responsible for our intellect, our intuition, and our deepest wisdom. And some say our two eyes see the past and the present, while the third eye peers into the future. And I almost would say that our human eyes try to see the past and the future, because that's where we're drawn by our ego. But to come into the now and the present, into higher truths, we really focus in on that. All right, so you got a lot of messages there, but I love this story that's unfolding here for you. We're also going to pull a card here from the Ancestors Path Tarot. Let's see what else the Creator wants you to know. And we will dig in even deeper here in just a moment, but let's see what other, just for the general energies. Okay, I want that one right there. So we will obey. Yep, Six of Swords. Swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mentalities, your attitudes, your expectations. And the Six of Swords, this is about movement from old ways of thinking to new ways of thinking. So you are leaving old ways of beliefs behind. And I love that this unicorn is bringing in those truths that are helping you. They're revealing things to you, like capital T truths of your higher self. And it's letting go of these old small t truths of the ego, those popular opinions of the shoulds and the supposed tos. That's the poison that makes us fall asleep, because it draws us, like I said, with those eyes into the past and the future. The past rehashing how you might have failed some expectations, in the future saying, when this happens, then you can be happy. So it distracts us off from this moment where we live life and where we find that unconditional love that truly sets us free. So I love this for you. Six of Swords also, normally you see it like a boat. And it has, like, it's leaving three swords and it's going towards three swords. So this can also mean a movement in your relationships, which makes sense. If you're obsessed about a person and you step away from the relationship, you're moving a movement in the relationship. If it's obsession about work or education, then it can mean about movement to a different form of education, to a different position within your work, or a different job, different employment. And it can mean movement of your physical body, movement of your possessions, a movement of your bank account, and your finances as well. So whatever you're obsessed with is what you're going to have these thoughts and beliefs change around. And then we're going to use these Tarot of Dreams, and we are going to look at each of the 3 months of the winter solstice. And so we're going to pull cards for December 21st to January 21st, and then January 21st to February 21st, and February 21st to March 21st, which brings us up to the spring equinox. So let me just clear some space here. We'll just have the kitty cats overlap each other here, since they were so related there. All right, so 1221 to 121 for our brown bear Capricorns. So I feel like it's these 3 here, and then also this one. And then 121 to 221. Wow, okay. So you got those 3, and then these 2. And then what about 221 to 321? Okay, you got those 2. And then anything overall, or these are the ones for overall? Okay. So these are actually for overall for the entire period. So we will get into this. So 1221 to 121, you got the world. And this is so perfect because this is about endings to major cycles and new beginnings. So with this obsessive thinking, this is great to see it right away. You are embracing this change that's happening, this major ending and major new beginning, because the cycle is ending. With this being a major arcana, it's not about like a momentary or a temporary thing. This is about a huge major cycle ending in your life and a big major cycle new beginning. But don't fret about it, because like we saw in here, it is for your highest good. It is going to be very bright at the end of it with this removal, because you don't realize how sick you are, how toxic the situation is until the toxicity is gone. Yeah, and you have the moon. So beautiful, getting into the deep unknown, connecting to the higher realms again with this huge moon here. I would really pay attention to the moon cycles during this time, because this came out for the whole period, but specifically, unless we get more moon messages here, definitely look at the moon cycles for between December 21st and January 21st. I do put out new moon and full moon readings for each zodiac sign, which I'll talk about at the end of this video, so you might check into those as well. But this is about connecting to the higher realms, understanding the moon cycles that are happening, the moon energy that's coming in. And it's very much like High Priestess, where, talked about taking some time away and stepping away. The High Priestess goes into her temple, focuses, gets away from all the noise, all this noise that's this chaos is creating for you. And in that silence, she raises her vibration to the higher realms, which is of unconditional love and joy and laughter and peace. And when you do that, then you hear the messages clearly, and you get those higher truths that come through like this unicorn's antenna. So really make sure to take time for yourself here, and get out into nature if that's what it does. Whatever you do to find the silence and to get into the quietness, so that you can hear from your posse on the other side, all those beings of unconditional love and light. Do that, because this is so important for this transformation for you. Wow, yeah, 3 major arcana so far. You got the Magician, which is about connecting to your higher self. This is your infinite self. You can see this giant infinity symbol here. This is your infinite self, connecting to the power, the magic that you are. And this is like this wand here, and it, brings down all that unconditional love energy down into the world, which you can see here, the infinity symbol. Sorry if you heard the puppies outside barking there. Someone evidently is bringing notice to them, so this is like a notification for you as well. All right, and then you move into this 10 of coins, which is the 10 of pentacles. And here's this beautiful gateway that you're leaving. So you're coming out of this darker time and going into this place. This represents the outside world. So this is this feeling of abundance, this feeling of wholeness, this feeling of completeness that comes. And it makes total sense with this change of this cycle and with connecting to this beautiful magic that you are, with this Magician and that moon energy. You are definitely moving into this beautiful place, this beautiful awareness. And your outside world is just making this transformation, because all that energy you're, like I said in the beginning, focusing into this obsessive thinking about these outcomes, about all this stuff, you're realizing to have this beautiful confidence, this beautiful wholeness within yourself. And this 10, of course, is endings and new beginnings as well. So you have this big transformation that begins to happen in that first month. And then you move into 121 to 221. And you've got the 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups is like emotional. Cups are your emotions, so it's emotional fulfillment. You're feeling like you're just abundant, overflowing, whole, and complete. That's an amazing, it's definitely understandable with all this that's happening here, that it's flowing in and you're feeling the emotional repercussions, the emotional waves that are coming from this, and it's positive emotional waves that are coming in. Yeah, 8 of coins. So 8 of pentacles is what it would be in other suits. And this is like you're learning, you're growing, things that have been on your plate that you've been focusing on mastering. Like this is like you're an apprentice and you've been doing all this work, perfecting your skill, perfecting your path, and suddenly this is saying that you're reaching the point where you've done it. You have all this, done all the work, you've done all the studying, you've been consistent, you've been working at things, and that can be, education, it can be a job, it can be a relationship, it can be different things, but it's like you're graduating. You've reached that place now where you are becoming the master. You don't have to worry about learning and growing and learning and growing more and more and more and more. We'll always fine-tune things, but it's like you have everything you need right now in your outside world to make like this magician to bring manifestation of things into your life. Because the magician card has, everything on it. It has all the coins, all the cups, all the swords, all the wands in it, which is saying that you have everything you need within you to make those things come true. So, and then you have the 3 of swords. 3 of swords, usually it has like this huge heart on it with these 3 swords stuck in it. And for me, this is the expectations card, and it's the lesson of expectations equal disappointment. And it brings this truth to us that we cannot truly be heartbroken. Our high heart is amazing and powerful, and like we mentioned, it's all full from within. But these expectations point back to this obsessive thinking, to this obsessiveness, to the outcomes. We've been told so many things in our life, in our human form, which I call these the small t truths of our fear ego, of our human side. All these popular opinions on what something's supposed to mean, what you should do, what you have to do, what you need to do, all those roles about lovability and acceptability that we fear we're not going to fulfill, and then we're going to get rejected. And then we have all those expectations that we have on ourselves that we project onto everyone else. And everyone else disappoints us eventually because no one can live up to all that long list of expectations, because often they even contradict one another. So this beautiful awareness comes, because swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your, like the 6 of swords here. So the 3 swords that you're leaving behind are these old ways of thinking, these old ways of expecting, all these attachments to outcomes. And so that's beautiful. That's why you're getting this, you're moving on. That's the lessons that you're learning, and you have this beautiful flood of beautiful emotions. And then that brings you into 221 to 321. And you have the 8 of cups. So you're leaving behind expectations, and you're also leaving behind emotions that no longer serve you. So you're stepping right up, and here's that moon again. So I would definitely also pay attention specifically. I would just pretty much throughout this whole winter solstice pay attention to the moon energies, because they always influence anyway. I always say pay attention to the moon cycles, what energies you're dealing with, but specifically they're really emphasizing the full moons during these 2 months here. And then also you've got the Page of Coins. Pages are like new messages coming in from the outside world, but it also means new opportunities coming your way. So you have this beautiful openness to things, especially with letting these expectations go and letting this, as the outcomes, your attachment to these outcomes, as you allow the universe, you allow the Creator and Spirit to figure out the how and the when, then instead of having this really like this is how it has to happen within this parameters, really limiting how things can happen in your life. If you know the what and you just open up wide, it allows more things to come and allow more things to flow into your life, because you're not feeling so constricted by all these expectations and all this. So you're really allowing things to happen differently. And sometimes it gets removed out of your life because there's something better, and more in alignment with what you're wanting to learn and experience, on the planet. But sometimes you can have it where when you open up, there's answers that come that allow that thing to happen and unfold. This thing, like, let's say it's a relationship and you're obsessed about it. When you let go and stop being, so obsessed with it, sometimes when you let go and open wide and allow things to happen, it might not be this fairy tale relationship you're looking for, but this happens. And you're like, you know what? I'm actually even more happier and glad that this didn't happen, because I really like this even better. I didn't even really realize it because it's outside your parameters. All right. And then overall for the entire, you've got the Two of Swords. And here we go. Here's the moon. So again, for the entire period, really pay attention. And this is the new moon symbol. So they are saying, like, yeah, you said full moons, but let them know new moons as well. Just watch all the moon cycles throughout this period here, because it'll really definitely help you. Because swords are about making decisions. The Two of Swords is about, you can make decisions with your mind and all these expectations and all this gets you into this obsessiveness, or you can blind yourself to all the mind stuff, connect to the moon energy, connect to your higher realm, like we were talking about with that moon energy, and you're able to make decisions with more clearer information than you would, with the human mind, because a lot of the human mind, small t truths, come out of fear. And when we're making decisions out of fear, we're usually out of our minds. When we're in this Three of Swords, pierced heart mode, we're in fight or flight. The blood literally leaves our brain, and we're literally out of our minds, because our body and our mind do not want us to stand there and think, I wonder if that giant lion's going to eat me. And then we're eaten, so it takes us out of that reaction. So when we step out of that fear, step into the higher knowledge, then that helps us make decisions that are more balanced and in line with us. Yeah, perfect. And you got the King of Cups. Cups are emotions. Again, this is the Holy Grail. This is like the Ace of Cups. It's the chalice. It's full of the unconditional love of the Creator of all things, the essence of our Creators, the living waters that really, truly make us feel whole and complete. Cups are emotions. Not the King is at the very end of the suit, which means this is the highest love we can get, which the highest love, capital H, highest love, is the unconditional love of the Creator of all things. And so when you connect to that, when you make that your core, and that's what you do experience as you connect to the higher realms. That's what the higher realm is. When you get into that quiet place we talked about, getting away from it all, when you purposely focus on unconditional love, joy and laughter and peace come naturally with all that. But when you focus on all that, that's the frequency at which you can really tune in with your little unicorn antenna there and get these capital T truths that you're looking for. And it'll change your life in such beautiful ways. You won't feel so trapped. You won't feel so confined. And you'll leave behind all the emotions that happened on purpose, for a purpose, for you to experience what you wanted to experience, and you'll leave behind those thoughts and those beliefs that you had on purpose for a purpose, but you're ready for newness in your life, because these definitely are all about leaving behind old thoughts and beliefs, as well as old emotions that you've experienced in your life. You're ready to transform them and move on to a new adventure in your life. So I love it. And then lastly, we're going to pull a card here from these Angels and Ancestor Oracle cards. And just see what your final message is here. All right, Creator, what is your final message for the brown bears of the Capricorn tribe? Okay, actually I feel like it's this one right here. And you got winter, like the winter solstice. Take care of your needs. Perfect. How funny that you got the only card in the entire deck that is winter. This is the winter solstice reading. Do everything you need to be at your best, then move beyond your fears and limitations. For many of the animal realm, winter is a time of hibernation and retreat. You may wish to curl up in a ball too, but although you may not feel as bright as you'd like to be, a primal force within is encouraging you to continue. The winter card features a wolf, one of the few animals that stay active all year round. Wolves know what it's like to work alone or thrive within a pack, so if you feel you need to go it alone at this time, know that the wolf medicine will help you move beyond your insecurities and relax in your own space. And the extended message for this card is you have an opportunity to move beyond your fears. Although you may feel in the dark, get comfortable with being in the unknown and trust that the light within you will sustain you through what may seem a challenging process. Ask yourself what you need to do to feel supported and alive. You may uncover something from your past that you have buried deep. Know that when you unearth it and shed light on it, you create space for miracles. You may feel like a lone wolf right now, but it's time for you to be the alpha. When the winter card arrives in a future spread, it can also indicate that coming winter will usher in important energies with regards to your questions or intentions. So we already know that that is bringing in this beautiful energy for you, and that you can go at it alone. And though that most people go into hibernation during winter, you're going to be active because you're going to be looking at these past things and releasing them and freeing you from those shackles. So I love that for you. All right, well, I want to let you know, in addition to these readings, I also do monthly readings by each zodiac sign, weekly readings by like their energy updates for each of the elements, like fire signs, water signs, and as I mentioned, new moon and full moon readings by each zodiac sign, as well as some other free videos that I put out. So if you want to get notified as soon as those become available so you don't miss them, if you haven't done so already, just make sure to click the subscribe button down below, and that's going to make this notification bell pop up. And if you click on that, that'll take you to your notification settings, and you can select to receive these videos immediately. All right, well, know as you go throughout each and every second of every day, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. So have an amazing winter solstice. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. But until then, you take care. All right, my Capricorns, if you chose reading number 2, which is the black bear, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Surrender Oracle. And this is just going to represent what the Creator wants you to know that's going into hibernation during the winter solstice. So, all right, Creator, so for our black bears of the Capricorn, what would you like them to know? What's going into hibernation for them during this winter solstice? Okay, there we go. You got surrender your attachment to results. You see the card there, and that says the formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. So this is going into hibernation. So your attachment to results is what is going into hibernation. Well, of course, we're going to dig deeper into this as well. And we're going to pull a card here from these animal spirits, the wild unknown animal spirit deck. Just see what else the Creator wants you to know about this attachment to results. So being drawn into the future kind of, your abundance saying, I am whole and complete when this happens. Not until then. So you're always, looking toward the future. And the amazing thing is, like, when you get to that in the future and you have that, you're like, oh, well, that didn't fulfill me. What's more, So this is really what you're going to be learning during this 3-month period is that, and this is a general reading, so some of you will obtain some of the things that you think that you need to be or have or experience, and you're going to be like, oh, well, I still feel like there's more, like I need more. I need something more. Others of you will not have to get there. You're just going to be like, you know what? I've been investing so much effort to try to get to that point, and I just feel like I'm never going to get there. And like that combination of those things is really going to bring you into this awareness around the attachment isn't going to be worth it for you. So let's take a look here and see what else the Creator wants you to know. Okay, there we go. And you got the Whale. So water, energy, and deep diving, of course. Whales deep dive into the deep waters where others cannot go. And do not fear your emotions. You do not fear going deep there. And I apologize, these are not in alphabetical order. So there we go. So Mr. or Ms. Whale here, desire to delve deeper, profound peace, ancient wisdom. So the whale represents profound emotional health and stability. Whale personalities are not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain. And as they've overcome many challenges in their lives, and these experiences have enriched them, they've given them stability, strength, and a depth that is rare. So whale energy is usually linked to the feminine forces of compassion and communication. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. So when you're in balance with this energy, you're calm, you're steady, you're deeply compassionate. But when you're out of balance, things feel heavy. You slip into an old story. And so to bring this energy into balance, it talks about regular self-care. And so I love this about the story because these attachments to the results, you have this story around what those results would mean. And this whale energy is going to help you during this winter solstice get to the bottom of that and really understand what is it that you're truly seeking, what is it you truly are wanting to have, and if you do get that, will it make you feel whole and complete? Something that they're bringing to my memory to mention is that, because I had a period of time, a couple times where in my life I had the opportunity to just really sit and go, what, if I could do anything in my life, what would I want to do? What would my dream be? And so I had all this stuff of my fear ego, all the stuff of my supposed to's and shoulds. When you go into spirituality, the ultimate is to be like a, top-selling author of books, going around, giving presentations, doing readings, doing all this stuff and be well known and blah, 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 right? And so they took me into the future and like had me experience a what if. So if I had everything I thought I was wanting, all the things I had was attached to for results, and I went there, they were like, are you happy? And I'm like, well, I'm looking to what's next. And they're like, yeah, because when you're looking to attachments to future results, you're always going to be looking to the next thing. And you're not going to be happy then if you're not happy now with what's in your life. If you're not grateful and thankful and enjoying how life is right now, what makes you think that you'll enjoy it then? And I'm like, you make a good point. And so my dream became to be here now with the Creator. Be here now and then enjoy the process of whatever's unfolding, because I feel whole and complete and unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. I have everything I need within me. So why do I need to worry about the future stuff? Because I get to that whole story. I get to put whatever story I want to around anything that comes in the future. So I do not have to fear the future because I control the story that I put to it. I control what emotion I'm going to choose. And when you get that and you have that empowerment, then you're able to let go of the attachment to results more and more. We're also going to pull some cards here, or a card at least, from this Ancestor Pack Tarot, and we're just going to see what else the Creator wants you to know about this winter solstice. All right. So what else for our black bear of the Capricorn tribe, please? Okay, this is the one right here. Boom! Yep, you got the sun, your brightness, be bright. Yeah, definitely. It's sit in the sun, be there now. The sun just is, it just gives it itself. It doesn't expect anything in return. This is about being naked and vulnerable, feeling the heat, feeling that beautifulness. And this is about victory. It's about success, abundance, wholeness, and completeness. So definitely, when you come back to the moment, when you come back to the now, like I was talking about, this is how you feel. You just feel like you're in the presence of the sun, like a plant, just I have everything I need. The water comes, the nutrition's there, the carbon dioxide, I bring that in and I put out oxygen into the world and I feel the sun. That's what a plant does. That's what we can do, and we can just be that. But we're, of course, are going to dig more deeply into this because I'm loving this story that's unfolding for you for this winter solstice. This is the Tarot of Dreams, and we're going to pull cards for each of the 3 individual months of this winter solstice, which will be 12/21 to 1/21, 1/21 to 2/21, and 2/21 to 3/21, which will bring us up to the spring equinox. So for 12/21 to 1/21, what would you like our black bear Capricorns to know, please? Okay. Any others? Okay. That one there. Any others? Okay. Yes. Okay. So put those there, and then this will be for 1/21 to 2/21. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. And then 2/21 to 3/21. Okay. That one and that one and that one. Okay. And then anything for overall. Okay. Yep. Just that one. Okay. All right. So let's dig into this here. We've got 12/21 to 1/21, and you've got the High Priestess. So definitely connecting to the moon. This is a lot like reading number 1. And reading number 1, if you were kind of like drawn between the first and the second one, the brown bear or the black bear, theirs was a little bit about letting go of attachments too, about their obsession with something. So, and they had a lot of moon energy in there too, which this is definitely about connecting to those higher places, getting quiet, getting alone. It doesn't mean you have to like totally ostracize yourself, but it's definitely like the High Priestess. She steps away from all the noise, goes to her temple to connect to that higher energy, the moon energy, the emotional energy. She goes into the unknown. She goes behind the veil. So she connects to the spiritual world to understand and see things from that higher perspective. Because of this moon energy too, I'd watch the moon cycles, and I'll mention it at the end of this reading too, but I do like new moon and full moon readings for each zodiac sign, so you might pay attention to that energy that's coming in during that time for each of these 3 months, especially whenever a moon appears. So definitely 12/21 to 1/21. If you don't want to do it the entire time, at least do it during this time. Yep, because you have the 10 of Swords. So perfect. You are so ready to let go of all those expectations. All the swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mentality, your expectations, your attitudes, and all of that. And with all this attachment to results, that's where this comes from. These are all the small T truths of our human ego. and all the things that are supposed to be in order for us to be fulfilled, like we said, in the future. This is all that stuff, and it's exhausting. They stabbed you in the back, they have let you down, and you're ultimately exhausted. But the great thing is normally in the tarot, they'll be like flat on a beach with all these looking away from us, and the sun is rising, which you've got the sun here and you've got the sun here. So this is about that, there is hope coming. 10 is endings and new beginnings, so you are definitely ready to let that go because you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're exhausted trying to fulfill this and get to that end result. So you are ready to let those things go, and beautiful. You got the Hanging Man. So this is about seeing things from a higher perspective. The waiting is over. You're ready to move on with it too. So you're ready to make this transition and do see things. So you're doing this deep diving, which makes sense. I know it's like this is seeing things from a higher point of view, from heaven looking down below, but that's like the whale diving deep and seeing from the bottom of the ocean up to the surface too. So you're seeing this double perspectives and seeing things from different perspectives, but seeing things clearly and seeing more truths. Perfect. Another 10. So endings and new beginnings. The Wheel of Fortune has a beautiful story behind it. That Spirit gave me, and it's like before we come down here, and you got like 3 major arcana here too, which is, I think the first reading had that too, where they had 3 major arcana and one, I think they had a 10 as well. So definitely you might want to check out reading number 1 too, because there's all this, correspondence between the two. But back to the story of the Wheel of Fortune. So you are this bright light, this soul before you come down here, and you choose what avatar you're going to be. So what human character is going to represent you when you enter this game of life and when you're going to leave this game of life, and all these fated events that are going to unfold during your life. But within each of those fated events, we still have the power of choice. We have our free will, where we get to choose, like it said here, the story that we apply to any situation and the emotions we choose around any situation. So there's this huge awareness that happens with that life unfolds for us. It doesn't happen to us. And it changes our whole aspect of our life of looking like we're on this out of control drama train that's speeding down the track, about to fly off the rails, dramatically explode in a gorge. And it's like, no, it's actually more like a monorail train that's attached to the track. It's a smooth ride. It has its designated stops, but you get to choose what story you put to it and what emotions you're going to feel. And, I know sometimes it's like, well, I didn't feel like I get to choose that. This happens, and this is what I think it means and what I feel. I don't feel like I choose. And it's like, yeah, it's because we were conditioned with all these, 10 of Swords, all these expectations and shoulds and supposed tos and have tos and need tos when we were younger, all these opinions, these popular opinions from the outside world, and we took them on as our own. And because it was reinforced through movies and, people we knew and people we saw and everything else, we just took it on as like, when this happens, our habit became, this happens, this is what it means, this happens, this is how I feel. And it happens so quick, it's a reaction out of habit. But we can take a deep breath and we can learn when we're making that choice, and we can make a different choice. So this is a very empowering card and wonderful awarenesses that come that first month. And then you move into 121 to 221. And you have the 6 of Swords. So this is the movement. You're moving through a gateway. So you're leaving old ways of thinking behind and moving into new ways of thinking, which with that 10 of Swords, you were exhausted and ready for it, and you are making it. So you're making wonderful progress. Again, the Hanging Man is this movement. And this 6 of Swords is also about movement. So this is movement of thought, but that can also go out into your mind, and it can be movement in in or out of a relationship or within a relationship, movement within education or your job, or in or out of it, of course, and then movement of your body, movement of your finances, movement of your objects as well. So you can see that type of thing happening during those times. And then you have the Lover's card. And this is great because and you got 2 6s, so you have a 6 here and a 6 here. Which, for some individuals, that is an indicator that you're on the right path, you're on the perfect path for you, which we always are, right? I mean, like the Wheel of Fortune, life is always unfolding perfectly with all these fated events that are happening for us. But this Lovers brings in this beautiful energy, because it's like all these expectations that you had before, this 10 of Swords. The Lover story is the 4 and the 5 that come before the Lovers is the Emperor and the Hierophant, which are like leaders. And the shadow side of those cards are about a dictator and people that want to control, and so they have all these rules, and that's kind of what we feel like when we're young children into teenage years, is all these rules. Everyone's telling us, no, this is what you should do, what you're supposed to do, blah, 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 right? Well, this Lover's card comes around, and the first time we feel passionate about someone or something, that's when we get the oomph to break the rules and to go against these rules. Kind of like, if you have a crush on someone, and so you break your curfew to spend more time with them because you don't care. I don't care about the punishment or rules. I am in love. That's the kind of feeling that comes from this, right? Or it could have been like a band or, a movie or something else you wanted to see, where you went to see it when you weren't supposed to anyway, So it's about passion, this new bright passion, this new wonderfulness coming in, where you're willing to break your old ways of thinking and do things differently. So I love that. Yep. And then you have the 8 of Wands. Wands is like spark, your inspiration, your drive, your aha, moments. It's also spiritual energy. And with this 8 of Wands, you can see this. The wands are coming in very fast, which again also means movement. So it's movement of energy. So there's definitely some moves in store for you, whether it's location or movement within your relationships and all those things I talked about. So definitely this energy coming in. You can see all the birds here. This also means messages from Spirit. So, with this connection to the High Priestess here, I really feel like you really are opening up. And the veil is very thin for you during this time, where you can get messages from all over the place, from your spirit guides and guardian angels and angels, your loved ones on the other side, your ancestors, Spirit, the Creator, all those beings of unconditional love and light. They're going to be bringing messages from the outside world. So you'll see a lot of messages and synchronicities, whether it's a license plate or bumper stickers or a song on a radio or a conversation you overhear or the subject line of a junk email or something on social media. You're going to be getting all these messages and these confirmation, these answers you've been looking for. You also get emotional messages, mental messages, so pay real close attention to what's going on around your world, and try to, like the High Priestess, be as calm and away from the chaos as you can, because that's when you're going to hear the messages the most. Wow. So you had 6, 6, and now you've got 8 and 8. And this is the Strength card, which is beautiful because this is about connecting to your higher self as well. This represents our human side, the fight or flight human that came down here. All these expectations, all this hunger, wanting to experience this life, but it comes down hungry and thirsty, and it's told with all these, 10 of Swords, all these expectations, go out here. Out here is where you're going to get your wholeness, you're going to fill your belly, and it's going to quench your thirst. And so we go out there, and like American Chinese food, when you eat it, it doesn't really fill you full up, and then you're hungry an hour later, or you drink something and you're even more thirsty. And so we get desperate, right? We're attached to these results. We get desperate. We are so hungry that we're hangry. We're angry. And so we're roaring in this jungle, and we're, veiled from our higher self. We aren't aware so deeply of our higher self, but our higher self is always aware of our lower self. It sees beyond the veil, and it doesn't. It's like a one-way mirror, right? Or two-way mirror, where we can't see, but they can see through it. You know what I mean? So our higher self, our infinite self, comes down. And it doesn't kill the lion or the tiger, depending on what deck you have. It doesn't put it in a cage. It doesn't try to suppress it with a whip and a chair. What it does is it gives it what it's been hungering for and thirsting for, which is unconditional love. It is a being. We are a being made of unconditional love. And so it gives that, hugs the lion, it hugs the tiger, gives it the love, and it transforms from this roaring beast into this purring little cub sitting in the lap of our higher self, feeling whole and complete. And so that's what this energy that's coming for you, in this transformation that's coming for you during this month here. So I'm loving that, because it's definitely about attaching to higher places. Two of Cups, pretty much the same thing. Cups are your emotions. One of these cups is your lower self. One of these cups is the higher self. And it's about this union that comes from it. And so I love that these came out together, because it's like, yeah, what we said. And you join together. So, that lion, that tiger, connects to its higher self. It feels the love and the wholeness and completeness, so it's not desperate for the outside, because it's finding everything that it needs from within, from that unconditional love that it finds from within, and boom, it just needs to maintain that relationship and enhance that relationship with the higher self. And then, the lion will see a rabbit and run off into the jungle and go, oh, I'm alone again. Oh, no. But all it does is remember, oh, yeah, that's right. I don't need to feel this way anymore. I've got my higher self. And then it just calls out to the higher self, and it's there. So beautiful, beautiful January 21st to February 21st, which brings you into 221 to 321. And you had 6 of Swords, the 6 for the lovers. You've got the 6 here for the coins, which is all about this equaling balance between giving and receiving. And 6s and 8s, and all these even numbers that you have, because you've got 2, 10, 12, 10, 6, 6, 8, 8, 2, and 6 again. Very balanced numbers. So you're having this balance that's coming in, obviously balance, overall anyway. But this is about the outside world and about the feelings of your worth. And moon again here. So definitely look at the moon cycles for during this period of time, because they're going to be bringing these beautiful energies for you that, we are mostly water, our human side, and so our emotions get pulled like an ebb and flow with, the new moon and the full moons. So just be aware of that, and allow yourself to receive. I call this also the codependency awareness card. And, we learn this balance that when we attach ourselves to what we're able to do for others is what our worth is, which is what an enabler does in a codependent relationship, which I always have to admit, I'm a recovering enabler, so I'm totally transparent. I understand. I've been there, and I am aware of it, and I watch that because I can get drawn easily into doing that again. So, an enabler has at its core this belief that I'm worthless unless I can do something for someone. And why on earth would anybody want to be around me and hang around me if I can't give them anything? And so when you go into this relationship, you go into this place of equal adult giving to adult. And that's beautiful, right? That's the giving and receiving. It's like, yeah, beautiful. But then our enabler kicks in and goes, no, I feel unsafe. I can only give to you. And it changes to this parent-child relationship instead, adult-child. we're mama bird and we can only give to the baby bird. No, baby bird, you can't give to us, and we won't receive. We just give and give and give till we're exhausted, and then it turns into resentment. Well, this little baby bird is like, well, I want to give too, and you're not allowing me to give, so I'll give out here. So it gives outside of our relationship to another relationship, to the job, and become a workaholic, or invest a lot of time in friends or a sport or a hobby, something outside of the relationship, and that's what this imbalance comes. But it's beautiful because it's this mirror that constantly shows us how we feel about ourselves. And so, you know, I had several of my relationships where people went outside the relationships, you know, for getting their fulfillment. And yeah, it hurt like heck when it happened, but it was this mirror. They were all my teachers, pointing me back to how I felt about myself until I saw it. And so I wasn't respecting myself. I wasn't, you know, thinking that I was worthy of receiving from anyone unless I gave and overgave anyway. And so when you find this beautiful love and this love, you know, from within and attached there, then you let all that go. You're not defined by what you can give to others and what people give to you. You become this chalice. You become this cup. You fill up with that love, and people get the overflow. Whether people give to you or not, or whatever they do, it stops mattering as much because your worth comes from inside you, not from outside of you. Yep, and 7 of coins. So 6 and 7. This is all about patience. You're doing a lot of internal work. Just know that the external world, we change from the inside out. So you're doing a lot of interchange. It'll eventually move to the outside. Be patient with it. It's okay. It takes time. It's how things work. So, you know, it's just this patience card letting you know, don't worry about it. And then you've got the Justice card. And you see this is the Ace of Swords here. More balancing. Balance. So this is a beautiful balancing story coming in here for you as well. But this is about you're seeing these capital T truths a lot with these swords. And you're understanding the capital T truths, what they are, as you let go of these small t truths, all these expectations that we had in those attachments before. So that is this message, really, these swords letting you know that, yeah, you're continuing to chop away, and you have this power within your hands of this balancing of your life and connecting from the lower to the higher. And then 4 of Cups overall is the message, and here's the moon. So definitely pay attention to the moon cycles throughout all of this. And these 3 cups are those cups of the external things that were supposed to fulfill you, these attachments to these results, you know, relationships, education, jobs, and, you know, situations, and possessions, and your physical body. All those things that were supposed to, right, supposed to make you feel whole and complete, have disappointed you. And so you were bored, and then here comes this Ace of Cups. Here comes this Holy Grail, the chalice full of unconditional love that's bringing you what you've been truly thirsting for all along. So that is kind of the summary of everything, right? All right, and then we're going to put one more card here, so appreciate your patience as you've been going through here. They had a lot to say, but these are the bird messages cards. I'm just going to see what the final message the creator has for the winter solstice for you. All right. What's your final message for the black bears of the Capricorn tribe? Okay, no, not all those. Okay. Okay, it's like I said, they're going to make it very obvious. I'm like, I guess that's the patience coming in, right? And you got the Emperor Penguin. Ah, love those. And that is small steps lead to profound metamorphosis. So you don't have to rush through it all. And we are going to just see what little message comes with this one. So the penguin once flew through blue Antarctic skies and skimmed over southern oceans, diving beneath their waters to feast on fish. As hundreds of thousands of years went by, the penguin swam more and flew less. Finally, her wings became flippers. She exchanged the light, hollow bones of flight for those that were dense and solid, and her feathers, now anointed with oil, became short and stiff with a downy undercoat. As your guide, the penguin counsels that change, no matter how radical, is always possible. We cannot become new people overnight, but if we accept that change takes time and believe in our hearts that the cumulative effect of hundreds of tiny changes is in the end monumental, we can eventually do anything. Penguin exchanged the wonder of aerial flight for an incomparable mastery of the seas. Like penguin, you too can metamorphose. You just need to take that first small step. So beautiful, perfect message for your penguin and your whale guide, both water energies here. So I'm loving this for you. I'm going to leave the reading there. I want to let you know, in addition to these readings, I also do monthly readings for each zodiac sign, weekly energy updates for each of the elements like fire signs, water signs, etc. And like I mentioned, new moon and full moon readings, and some other readings as well. So if you want to get notified when those become available, and not miss them at all. If you haven't done so already, just make sure to click the subscribe button down below. That's going to make this notification bell pop up. And when you click on that, that'll take you to your notification settings, and then you can just choose the option to be notified immediately. So that way you're always in the know. All right. Well, just know that as you go through each and every second of every day, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing winter solstice. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon, but until then, you take care. All right, all my Capricorns, if you chose reading number 3, which is the polar bear, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Surrender Oracle. And this is going to represent what the Creator wants you to know about what's going into hibernation during this winter solstice. So for our Capricorn of the polar bear, what would you like them to know? Actually, this is the one right here. So right off the bat, surrender resentments. Oh, no. Beautiful picture there. And then, so this is holding on to resentments only poisons you. Try to forgive others for their shortcomings and keep moving forward towards positive situations in your life. So resentments are falling away, which is good for you. You know, I know we hear that word forgiveness and we're like, blah, no, I don't want them to get away with what they did to me. I don't want to let that, go. But like it says, the poison in, resentment and unforgiveness is like we taking a poison and going, now see what it's going to do to you. Ha ha ha. Oh, why am I feeling sick? It only poisons us. It's only toxic to us. And so forgiveness is about letting the wrath go, letting that poison go, letting the toxin out of our life and out of our energy. We will never forget. We're amazing beings of memory. And so we will never forget. We will never let people do things to us again unless we want to learn the lesson and we allow it, right? That's the little thing that keeps gnawing at us inside. But, we have this resentment that we're feeding in our energy field and we're investing so much energy in maintaining. But if we realize I'm not going to forget this and I can remove this out of my energy field, put it in a little photo album. I'm going to take this photo album back to the other side because I came here to experience all these delicious emotions of the shadow. So I'm going to take them with me. I'm not going to forget it, but I don't have to have it absorbing and taking any more of my energy for this. And that allows me to get my energy back. So we, of course, are going to dig more deeper in here as well. This is the wild unknown animal spirit deck, and we're just going to see what else the creator wants you to know about this winter solstice and this surrendering to resentment. What else would you like our polar bears to know? Okay, what else? Whoa, okay. Oh dear, you got the deer. And then you've got the lizard and you got the fire ant. So let me just make some space here since you got a couple extra, but we will take all the help we can get, all the messages, right? So we'll start with the deer, and I apologize, these are not in alphabetical order, so let me just find the deer here. There it is. So the deer is loving, intuitive, graceful. It's the mother. And the deer represents the feminine aspects of earth energy, which you can definitely relate to. Being a Capricorn, you are earth energy, so you can resonate with this. This energy is available to all creatures, regardless of gender, but is especially potent in new parents. During the first few days, they are fully present, nurturing, and calm. Their inner beauty radiates, and a sense of grace calms the room. A deer personality affects others in this way, drawing them toward a quiet tenderness. The deer card may appear when a birth or celebration of new life draws near, or when a situation calls for absolute gentleness and compassion. Because when you're in balance with this energy, you are receptive, you are compassionate, you are nurturing. And when you're out of balance, then you're concerned and protective. And to bring this energy into balance, get out into nature. Focus on children. And I kind of feel like, so this resentment can be towards parent or child. I guess this is a general reading, but this is really jumping out for a significant amount of you. You know, this has to do with a relationship with your children or with your parents. And so really understanding that, and, you know, even though this said the mother, you know, this can also mean, you know, the male or masculine side of your parental upbringing too. But I feel like that's standing out. It doesn't have to apply to everyone, but that is significant for some of you. And then you've got the lizard. So we'll look at that one next. Actually, we came to fire ant. It popped up first, so we will move fire ant next to the deer here. Since I opened right up to it in the book. It says aggression, rigid thinking, following orders. So fire ant energy flares up without us noticing. It's the force that attracts us to people and situations that feed our imbalances rather than those that counter them. Gossiping and blaming are a few indicators that misaligned fire ant energies at play. You may also find yourself stewing on a person or situation, only making things worse. How can you break free from the drama and cool down? Fire ants are surprisingly sensitive, so don't pretend the heat isn't getting to you. When you're balanced with this energy, you're thoughtful and you're disciplined. But when you're out of balance with this energy, you argue, you have excessive heat, and you're talking about others. Gossiping, right? So to bring this into balance, it talks about having some solo time and maybe taking walks at night, which totally makes sense around this resentment, right? And then the lizard is instinctual. They're sensitive to the subtle, and they're the dreamer. They're an expert in the realm of sensory perception. As if it has a sixth sense, the lizard hears what is yet to be spoken and sees what is yet to manifest. Although this is an amazing gift, it can easily wear the lizard down. So big crowds, lots of travel, or overstimulation will drain the lizard of their magical essence. And this card's an indication to pull back from the bright light and big city and return to the inner artist who's been whispering your name. And so, you know, this definitely, all this energy that's coming in with all of this combined here is your path with this surrendering resentment and what will be falling away during this 3-month period, because you've got this loving, nurturing Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, kind of the Queen of Pentacles, Empress energy here, saying, take care of you, realize the fire that's going on within you, and that you're picking up on a lot of energies, a lot of other people's emotions that are amplifying yours even more so. And, I know it's not fair to others when you can pick up their emotions and you are seeing through things that they're saying, even if they apologized and you're like, I know you don't mean it. It's like, well, they're at least trying. But this whole piece is about realizing that this is for you. This process is for you. It's not for them. This is for you. They might not even be impacted by it at all. They're all distracted with their life and what's going on with it. So this is all about releasing this amazing energy, taking back this energy that you're investing in maintaining this resentment. Okay. We're going to pull a card here, at least one, from this Ancestor Path Tarot, and just see what else the Creator wants you to know about this winter solstice period. Okay, what else would you like our polar bears to know? Okay, they actually want this one here. Yes, King of Cups. Emotions, emotions, emotions. The king holds the chalice, it holds the Holy Grail, and what's within that is the living waters, the unconditional love of our Creator, the essence of our Creator and Spirit. The king, being the emotions, is the ultimate emotion that we can feel, which is that unconditional love on the other side. They kind of call it Christ love, the unconditional love, just this compassion, which, it talked about here as well. You got this divine masculine energy, divine feminine energy of love coming in for you. And that is really what is the cure-all for everything. That sipping from that cup of unconditional love, you find that love from within. You have this nurturing, this love that bridles up from within, and that's what allows you to help release, resentment as well. But this calling, this drawing to your inner place, it talked about spending some time alone, even taking a walk at night. It's about getting into the inner depths of who you are, getting into your heart deeper and deeper, in that energy that you're investing in, this resentment and this hurt, is, what is going to be falling away during this time. And sorry, I paused. They were bringing back a memory that I had of, I think it was a pastor at a church when I was really young, but it just really hit me what he said, because he goes, when it comes to pain, don't nurse it, don't rehearse it, but disperse it so God can reverse it. And I loved it. It was, don't nurse it, don't invest all that energy into it over and over again. Don't rehearse it, don't keep it looping in your mind, but disperse it, release it, so God can reverse it, so he can reverse that energy, reverse that impact on your life. So I love that. All right, so we're also going to pull from these Tarot of Dreams, and these are going to be breaking down the 3 months for the winter solstice. So we've got 1221 to 121, 121 to 221, and 221 to 321, which will take us right up to the spring equinox. So, all right. So Creator, for 1221 to 121 for our polar bears of the Capricorn tribe, what would you like them to know? Okay, you've got this one and these two. And then what about 121 to 221? Okay. Okay, and that one. And then 221 to 321. Okay, so you got to that one, and that one, and that one. Okay, anything for overall? Yep, they said these two. Okay, and that one too. All right. So we've got 1221 to 121. Yeah, you got the Hanging Man. So this is about seeing things from a different perspective. You're connecting to your higher self, your higher wisdom, the capital T truths, and you're able to look and see things from a totally different perspective. When you're connecting to this unconditional love, you realize that all these things that people did, all their actions, all their words, if they were not of unconditional love, then they were of fear of losing conditional love. And when we're in fear, we're in fight or flight mode. When we're in fight or flight mode, the blood rushes from our brain. So we are actually acting out of our minds, literally. And so we're reacting. We're not making emotionally intelligent decisions, mentally intelligent decisions. We're all making reactive fight or fight, flight or fight, flight or flight. So we're able to see and understand, okay, those actions of other people were not about me. They were about them, what they were going through, and they were expressing their fears. But then I triggered, and so I was expressing my fears. And so it really gives you this clarity that comes through it all, too. And the Five of Wands, which is great, because fives are about transformation, about seeing things differently. The wands are about your drive, your ambition, your aha inspiration, your spiritual energy. But you can see here, it looks like they're battling, right? So whenever I see this is kind of the scene that plays in my mind. I see this kung fu movie of 5 individuals with those staves, and they're all fighting one another, and finally one of them is standing, the other 4 are laying down exhausted and beaten, and then they all start laughing. They help each other up. They're all buddy-buddy, arm in arm, joking as they walk to the mess hall of the monastery to eat, because they're actually Zen Buddhist monks who were not fighting each other. They weren't at war. They were training and helping each other improve their skills. And so it was out of love for each other that they were helping each other, not actually attacking. And so there's this transformation of the energy around your awarenesses, which is totally what we're talking about. The fire of resentment transforms and changes. So you really start to see things from a different perspective, and that does change the energy around the memory that you're reviewing. And that's 1221 to 121, right? Yeah, and the Justice card. So, this is the Ace of Swords, and this is the balancing here. Justice. Yes, finally I get justice. They're going to pay. This is about letting your wrath go, because you realize your small t truths of your human ego, that was the fight or flight, gets replaced as you have these capital T truths that come in, where you start to see things, with this clarity that comes with it all. You understand, and there's this balancing that comes in, and you're like, okay, now I see my role in it. I see what was really going on, and it allows you to let that resentment go. And forgiveness comes, but really, ultimately, when you see the whole scheme of everything, you realize there was nothing to forgive. It's like, their action was their action, but it was my story that I applied to it, my fear story that I applied to it, that was triggering me inside, right? And then and so it's baby steps. I know you might be like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to be saying that there's no forgiveness needed. That'll come later. So don't get caught up in that. Just understand that you're going to be seeing things from a different perspective, which brings you into this 121 to 221. And you have these 9 of Swords. So swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. And this is called the insomnia card or the nightmare card. And all these thoughts and these beliefs that you have been clawing at you, creeping at you. And so this is the stuff of resentments. This is the stuff, those beliefs and those thoughts that you have from the past and what it means about you that have been creeping you out, that have been holding you back, that have been, have the claw in you, is what I see, and just keeps you in pain, keeps you from moving forward. But what's beautiful is that you also have the Knight of Cups, cups being emotions, Knights being about movement and about change. And so this is about this change of emotions, this transformation of emotions because of this. So, and I actually just feel like I'm going to put this on the card a lot because this is this movement that's happening. And so you're definitely applying all this stuff. If you do choose to do this, then in the following month, you're just going to feel this release of emotions, this movement and change of emotion in a very positive way. Yeah, and you have the Six of Swords. This is about, again, movement of thought and belief. You going through this new gateway here. You're moving into this new way of thinking. You're letting go of the thoughts that no longer serve you, moving into thoughts that are of higher place, which is this Justice card, right? So you are definitely applying that, which is great to see, right? You're like, yay, I'm not being stubborn. I really am applying all that stuff, which is great because you realize, and I think you really realize in this first month that it's for you. When you realize that the forgiveness in the process is for you and you deserve it, and you deserve this nurturing of yourself, that you're like, okay, I'm willing to do it. It's not about letting the other person off. It's not about forgetting. It's not about, releasing them from what they deserve, but it's getting the toxin and the poison out of yourself, which is for you, for your health, for your well-being, right? And then you go into 221 to 321. And you've got the Judgment card. So no more judgment. XX, double endings, double new beginnings. You're really letting and realizing that this little human experience that you are having here isn't just a small part of who you are. This is the actor behind the character that you are. You're so much more. And so it's like this calling upward. Usually, like, they'll even have it where there's like this, they have a trumpet, and it's kind of like, looks like the rapture in a lot of cards, where it's your human, small, scared, painful, little shadow self experiencing all this, conditional love and all those shadowy type of emotions rooted in fear, and you're being called to this higher love, being called to this higher place to remember who it is you really are, which is awesome, because that's what does it. And then you have the Tower, and I'm going to put this right here. Let me see what this card is too. Yeah, so you've got the 10 of Coins. 10 of Coins, this is endings and new beginnings. So XX and X, you got all these endings and new beginnings coming in the external world. So either relationships will change. You're going to have all the things in the external world are going to be ending with new beginnings, but you're walking through, like this gateway here. You're walking through this beautiful gateway in the outside world where there are changes for your good, there are changes for your benefit, and it's beautiful and it's freeing. And it's either, like, if it's a relationship, whether it's romantic, family, friend, work, whatever it might be, you are letting a relationship go, or that you're letting the old energy of that relationship go and moving into a new type of relationship with them. If it's work or education, something like that, a situation, then that situation as it is ending, and there's a new beginning in it. It doesn't mean you're losing your job. It could mean like a restart at the job in a new position, or with a new manager, or it could be a new company, kind of thing. School, it could mean you're going to a different school, or you're changing your major, something like that. And if it's your body, you might be going through, making a renewed change of your body some way, or your finances get refurbished and renewed, or something, you're redoing something in your physical environment. All of that can come. This is a general reading, so, just understand that you see this change happening because you see the world as you are, and because you're changing, you start to see the world in a whole different way. I wanted to wait on the Tower because there's a beautiful story that comes with the Tower, and especially with this removal of things out of your life. So, we come down here, before we come down here, our higher self, our soul, chooses the character that it's going to be, the avatar. It determines when it's going to enter the game, when it's going to leave the game. It determines all these fated events that it wants to experience so it can understand itself more deeply. But within each of those circumstances, we still have the free will to choose what story we apply to that situation and what emotion we want to feel during that situation. So we can choose an extreme emotion of unconditional love or an extreme emotion of fear or something in between, and it's up to us. And so we are going through this journey. Well, the Tower comes into that story because that's kind of like the Wheel of Fortune story, but the Tower comes in is that you have something in your life, whether it is a relationship or a situation or something in the physical world, it's there, and it has been in here on purpose for a purpose to experience these fated events. But to experience these other fated events, this thing needs to be removed so that we can move on to that. So the Tower, sometimes you'll see, because there's this big lightning bolt that's coming. I'm not sure if I showed that to you. Big lightning bolt that comes in. Sometimes you'll see someone getting blasted out of the Tower, and then also someone leaping out, which what that means is that before this happens, there'll be this countdown. And if you're in a quiet place and you're listening to spirit, you're not in the chaos, fear, noise. You're taking time to get into the unconditional love and joy and laughter and peace vibration and frequency of what spirit speaks at. You can hear the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can choose to remove it early. Because if the countdown happens and it's like, okay, it's done its purpose, it doesn't need to be in your life anymore, but this is going to be the drop, like kind of the drop dead date, as they say, where it has to be removed by this time for the next thing to happen. And there's no shame in experiencing that electric shock treatment of the lightning bolt, because a lot of us do. We love experiencing all this stuff right up to the last second, but it doesn't mean that you don't have to. And the beautiful message that comes from it all is that life unfolds for you. It doesn't happen to you. Things are removed out of your life for you. It's not a punishment. And when we can transform that awareness, then we see this life in a completely different way. We understand that everything is happening on purpose for a purpose, and that allows us to let go resentment sometimes too, right? Because if you know that this was a fated event, that I was to be with each, like I had 5 longish term relationships, anywhere from 1 year to 3 years. That's what I consider long term. And each one of them, in hindsight, I was able to look back and go, okay, these were all my teachers who were showing me how I wanted to, reflecting back to me how I felt about myself, telling me what I wanted to hear and see and know until I heard it. And so once I realized that each one of those were teachers intentionally on purpose in my life, then I was able to even be thankful that for the lessons that they taught me about myself, instead of being resentful toward them. So that's the kind of thing, the kind of information, the kind of awareness and transformation that can happen between 221 to 321. And then overall, they wanted you to know, so you got the 5 of Swords. So like the 5 of Wands with that transformational, this is your transformation of your thoughts and beliefs. You're wielding this Ace of Swords, which does let you connect to the capital T truths of the spiritual realm, the higher knowledge, this higher awarenesses. And it allows you to cut away these thoughts and these beliefs that no longer serve you. So it's definitely this message that's coming up for you here. Yep, and here's the Ace of Cups. So the chalice of the king here. So you definitely have this beautiful love energy that's coming in for you for this period of time. And the Palace of Cups, which helps you create this beautiful place deep beneath the surface where You can feel emotion, not have to act on it, but you're okay to feel whatever emotions come and flow through them. No matter what storm is raging above on the sea, this is way, way deep down inside where you can look up and see the storm, but you're not feeling the emotional storm deep below. So I love this overall energy that's coming about releasing old thoughts and the transformation of old thoughts, this beautiful love that's filling you up and bringing this wonderful place of unconditional love and peace and joy and laughter for you in your life too. And then lastly, we're going to pull a card here from this chakra reading cards and just get the final message the Creator has for you for the winter solstice. All right, what's your final message for our polar bear of the Capricorns? That one right there. And truth. Perfect in balance. Card number 23, which is the 5, which is this, all this balancing here. All these balancing of the truths. I mean, it's kind of what we said, right? I mean, look at it's almost the exact same. Sorry. Helps to look at the camera. All right, so let's see what message comes here. This does have to do with the throat chakra. It says, you've called this card into your awareness as a reminder that the divine truth of the universe is pulsing through you at all times. Those capital T truths we were talking about. There is truth in each moment. However, the challenge is to unravel this truth and understand what it means to you. Everyone has their own perception of the truth, their own personal understanding, and it's not always going to be the same as yours. You're being encouraged to connect and become aware of your truth in a particular situation. It's time to trust and believe in yourself and connect. Follow and express the truth that resonates deeply in your heart. You're constantly being guided to listen to the truth of your soul, and now it is time to truly believe and action this truth. You could be feeling confused due to taking on someone else's point of view of their personal truth regarding a situation. Now you're being encouraged to reassess their view and find the truth that resonates for you. As the saying goes, the truth will set you free. And once you share your truth, you'll definitely feel a lot lighter and more at peace. You may be holding back the truth from someone to avoid hurting their feelings. It is now time to open up and be honest with yourself and this person, and find a way to share your truth in a calm and loving way. It's very important that you share from your heart and honor how you feel, so you're not swayed by how the other person receives your truth or how they react. Know that you are being supported at this time as you shine more truth into your life. And the affirmation for this card is, I live and listen to my truth in each moment. Beautiful. That is so perfect. So definitely, this is happening for you. This truth will set you free and get you free of all this toxicity, all that poison that's, seeping out of your heart into your body and your mind and your world. So it is beautiful, definitely worth it. It's going to be a beautiful journey for you. And just know that as you go through each and every second of every day, you are supported, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, the Mother and Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you too. I'm going to leave the reading there. I do want to let you know, in addition to these readings, I also do monthly readings for each zodiac sign, weekly update energy readings for each of the elements like fire signs, water signs, also new moon, full moon readings, and some other readings throughout the month. So if you want to get notified as soon as those come out so you don't miss them, If you haven't done so already, if you click the subscribe button down below, that's going to bring up this notification bell. And if you click on that, then you'll be able to go into your notification settings and just put that you want to receive the notification immediately. So it's pretty easy. All right. Well, I wish you a very wonderful, amazing, and freeing winter solstice, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. But until then, you take care.